Here we've got both screens for a 2013 Malibu wake setter. This delaminated is a super common failure on these units. We see burned out backlights, touch response problems, all easily fixed with our DIY repair kit for those. And then on the top screen, we've got a damaged LCD. Its stripes, no visual is displayed, and also the plastic lens is peeling. So those are extremely common. Sometimes we see a burned out backlight causing a dim or dark display. We've got a DIY repair kit that's going to include the LCD, a new special edition model for this display unit. We're going to include a new custom cut plastic anti-glare lens, as well as the installation tools, and then a new backlight inverter for you. So anything that typically fails on these MaliView 6.5-inch non-touch units, we're going to include in that DIY repair kit. Also, some installation tools. All that you really need to provide in addition to the kit is some clear RTV silicone, an X-Acto knife, maybe a can of air duster if you've got that, and then a Phillips head screwdriver, and then a T10 Torx screwdriver. It doesn't need to be powered, but it does help speed things up here. So with everything said and done here, you're going to remove this metal bezel from your boat. It's got the two 4-pin connectors that hold in your switches. Remove those, and then remove the display connectors, which is the yellow RCA, and then the 6-pin connector, just a simple tab, and then this unit is freed up from your boat. You can pull that off. And then we're going to proceed to remove the display from the metal bezel. That's going to be 4 Phillips head screwdrivers. As we go through this, you want to definitely keep track of your screws. They're all exclusive to where they go. For example, these 4 Phillips only go in this location. We don't want to mix them up, so just kind of keep track on a piece of paper or in a section of your table where these are from, so you don't mix them up and cause any damage later on. So those 4 Phillips come off. The display will pull right out, leaving your switches. You can set that aside. Next, we're going to move to the T10 screws that hold the 2 halves of this display unit together. So go ahead and remove those. These are the larger T10 screws, so keep track of these. We cannot intermix these. They're a little bit larger, and they would cause damage to the inside of your display board if you mix them up. So all of these, consider these the larger T10, the outside T10. Just remove those and put them in a pile, and we'll move to the next step. Okay, with those screws removed, we're going to set those aside and keep track of them. And the back housing is going to separate. You just kind of lift it off. It's held in place with just some friction from this rubber gasket. We're going to remove this rubber gasket, seals out water and dust. It's very important to not damage that. We're going to reuse it as part of the complete assembly. So peel that rubber gasket off. It just kind of drops right into its channel. And then we will remove the 4 T10 smaller screws that hold your LCD in place. So as we tighten these, definitely do not use too much force. This is all going into plastic, so just finger tight, just hand tight is all you need. With the 4 screws removed, you can lift off this LCD. It sort of clicks into your circuit board. You can kind of align those up there. You can look at it from different sides. You'll see how the LCD drops into the board with just some press fit connectors. You've got pink and white wires that are for your backlight. Just disconnect those and then set your old defective LCD aside. Next, we'll move to the circuit board. 4 T10 smaller screws also. Keep track of these, remove those from the board, and then the green circuit board will be free to lift off of the unit, exposing the 2 backlight inverter screws. So those are 2 T10 backlight inverter screws. These are also the smaller ones. You can disconnect your white cable. Those just pull out. There's no tab or no lock on those. And we'll extract the old defective backlight. Sometimes these are burned out. They've got like smoke coming out the side, resulting in a dim or dark backlight, dark display. Very hard to see. Extremely common on these units. Then we're going to go ahead and drop in the new backlight inverter. Same place. Very gently use the screws to tighten that backlight inverter down. It probably wouldn't hurt to attach the white cable before you actually mount that. It might be just a little bit easier to access as opposed to this video where you can get it in. It's just a little bit more difficult of an angle. So go ahead and plug that white cable in, then install the backlight inverter, and you'll see how that cable kind of wraps around the post, this plastic post. Align the circuit board back up with the pins that go in the housing. Be very gentle, don't bend anything, don't use too much force, and then don't pinch the wires. So drop that in carefully. We're going to reattach the 4 T10 screws. Go ahead and use just finger tight force, no need to overdo it here. Just until the screw touches the green circuit board is all it needs. And then we will be preparing for the next step, which is to install the new LCD. Installing the new LCD is probably the trickiest part of this. You want to be very careful and align the connector of the LCD. It drops into place. Look at it from both sides. Make sure it's going in at the right location. Don't use too much force. You can damage something very easily. And as you know, these boards are expensive to replace. So drop in your new backlight connectors. The top one goes to the right side, but in the video here, it's facing upwards, so this is how you would see it in the boat. The top backlight goes to the right side connector. The bottom backlight goes to the bottom connector. Those just press right into place. And then as you set this in, be careful to not pinch any of the pink and white cables in the post there. You can kind of see where it fits into place. Just route the cables around those plastic posts where the screw goes so it doesn't pinch anything. And then we're going to move to the important part, the connector itself. So you can kind of feel how it drops into the rectangular connector. You can see it from this side, how it should align in the x-axis, and in the other side on the y-axis. And once you feel it's in there, just kind of like a tiny bit of force, it'll drop right into place, and all of the screw holes will be lined up properly. So once you're confident the LCD is in properly, we can move to remove the protective plastic film that's on your LCD. Go ahead and take the tape off, the plastic film off, and now we can take the T10 smaller screws and tighten down the LCD. This is also just finger tight, just until it touches the metal housing of the LCD. Tighten it down evenly in a cross pattern, just like anything you would do with multiple screws here. Nice and even pressure on that so we don't damage anything. And then definitely last confirmation, but to make sure that you're not pinching any wires and the LCD is properly aligned up with its connector. So the electrical part's good to go. We can set that aside now and move on to the plastic lens. So these typically have UV fading, cracking, yellowing, peeling of the polarization layer. Very, very common. So to extract that, it's glued in place. So we're going to use this metal tool that comes with your kit. Just run it around the edge of the black plastic housing and then the clear lens. It'll just kind of go around the edge, and that old glue bond will break and free up your old plastic lens, and it will pop right out like you see here. Sometimes it takes a little bit more force. Just be careful with it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't use too much pressure with your hand in the way or anything. It'll take a little bit of elbow grease. Just go around. Maybe use a flathead screwdriver to chip off all of the glue pieces, the plastic pieces that might have stayed on. We want to create a pretty flat surface. That way your new plastic lens fits into the channel well, creates a really good seal to prevent water intrusion, and has no plastic dust or anything. So this might take a little bit of working on, but take your time and be patient. Go around there and get that that channel where we're going to put the new adhesive on. All right, now that you've got all the plastic removed, all of the old lens removed, and any bits or glue cleaned up, leaving a pretty clean channel there. You can kind of see that stuff pops off sometimes. It's like acrylic. It's very sun-faded and brittle, so just be careful with that so you don't poke yourself or have anything fly off and hit you in the eye. You can use a brush or anything else to remove bits of debris or other plastic pieces that might still remain. Sometimes people use a flathead screwdriver if it's a stubborn piece. There's the brush just kind of going around and making sure there's a clean, smooth surface for the new RTV silicone to adhere to. You can find this at any Walmart, any local hardware store. Just clear RTV silicone, leave about a 4mm bead going around the outside. You'll find a line in the middle. You'll use that as your target when you go around. Just follow that line with the bead. It can be pretty thick. We want to make sure we have a good seal here, otherwise water and dust will leak into your display. You can kind of see how that's nice and uniform, nice and even. If you have any gaps accidentally, just go back and fill them in. We'll take the new anti-glare lens out of the box, peel away one side, peel away the other side, but not completely. Leave it attached right in the center. We're going to use this as sort of a handle to drop down into this channel of silicone that you just made. So we can see here, we're going to line it up. This lens is perfectly cut for this housing, so we're going to try and lower it into place very carefully without wasting any of the glue. There's some alignment posts you're going to try and drop that into and just kind of wiggle it around. You'll feel it drop into place when it's in the channel, and you'll also see that silicone expand and kind of fill in any gaps or any voids. It will come out the front a little bit, but that's fine. We're going to leave that for now and trim it off later on after it's cured. It'll be much less messy. So press that into place gently. If you see any gaps, you can fill them in, but if you had a good thick bead, it should be a good seal. So we'll leave this assembly for 24 or 48 hours until that silicone gets totally cured, and then we'll come back to it with an X-Acto knife to remove the excess from the front. So the LCD is good to go. Silicone is dried. We'll remove that plastic handle that you made. We can see that silicone is clear and dried. So air duster is good to clean off any dust that may be on your black LCD. You don't want any dust there. It'll be totally visible in your boat, and now is the time to clean it while the unit is separated. All right, you'll want to use your air duster here and make sure that any dust or debris that may be inside the screen is gone. It'll be very visible with the black background of the LCD. So now is the time to clean that off. Once you're confident it's perfect, you can go ahead and use the rubber gasket, drop that in the channel. One final blast with the air duster to make sure you have a perfectly smooth, debris-less installation. And then go ahead and drop the top half into place. You'll see how it kind of fits between the rubber gasket to seal that up. Check it out. Make sure there's no more dust. If you're satisfied with how it looks with no dust or debris in the inside, we can go ahead and tighten it down. So go back and use the larger of the T10 screws. Again, go in a cross pattern. Don't need to over tighten it. We're going into plastic, so it doesn't need to get a lot of force. Just go in a X or zigzag pattern, tighten that down nice and evenly so the rubber gasket seals up and you're protected from water and dust and any sort of debris for the future. All right, so now everything is going well. We've got it completely secured, all of the screws in place, and this unit is ready to be trimmed. So the excess silicone that overflowed from the front, we're just going to use an X-Acto knife to carefully go down and slice that edge. Don't need to go too deep, just go through the silicone. You don't need to cut into the plastic too much. You're going to create a little perforation in that silicone, and it will very easily peel right off, leaving a perfect installation that will guard against water and any rain that might come in from the front. So go around the edge, and then it will peel away from the old just like that. Sometimes if you miss a spot, you can go back through and retrim that so it comes off. And now we don't see any excess silicone. It's sealed up perfectly, and you are good to continue on. All right, everything's looking great. We can go ahead and drop this unit back on top of the metal bezel over those switches, and we'll use the 4 Phillips head screws to secure this to the mount. Zigzag pattern once again. No need to over tighten it. Make sure there's no debris or anything. And now we're going to fire this unit up and make sure it tests out. No delamination on the touchscreen. This is fully restored. The MaliView non-touchscreen is nice and bright. LCD is back, fully illuminating. Plastic lens is perfect. These units look like brand new, saving the customer over $6,000 between these two units. Check it out at mtcscreens.com. Mail-in service and do-it-yourself repair kits are available.